If it were a job, would that wage be worth it? Let me ask you a question. Is there a financial issue that you've been avoiding for a while? It could be as big as you haven't even started saving for retirement, or it could be as small as you haven't canceled that stupid subscription that you never use. Back when I was in college, the more homework I had, the more the couch would call my name. Saeed, come on, relax, take a nap. Don't worry about your troubles. That's a problem for future Saeed. Current Saeed is tired and needs rest. Saeed. Then snap. See how easy the couch or any distraction or important thing comes along and distracts you from getting things done financially? You'll deal with that later, right?
Right.
Yeah, we know we probably won't. So let me give you a few tips that might help you take action. Number 1, address only one issue at a time. Do you need to set up for retirement, change banks, cancel the credit card, get the new credit card? Stop. That's too much. Only take on one thing at a time. Take on one thing a day, or honestly even one thing a week. You won't overwhelm yourself this way. And if you're consistent, one a day, one a week, especially if it's a harder thing, I'll give you a whole week to do it, but you have to commit to get it done. Each day, you'll move closer to your goals. Number 2, think about time it takes working on all these financial issues in terms of an hourly wage. Let me explain. You've been wanting to cancel this $12.99 subscription that you never use. Let's say it took you a whole hour to cancel the subscription. For some reason, the password didn't work. You had to call them. So a whole hour dedicated to just canceling this one $12.99 per month subscription. Think of how long it took you. If it took an hour, think of it as a wage. If it was $12.99, you multiply that by 12, it's over $150 per year. And it took you 1 hour to cancel it. That's a wage of about $155 an hour. And we're only counting 1 year of the subscription. If you've had it for a long time or you've wanted to cancel it for a long time, it would probably be worth more than that. And I would say at $155 an hour, I would definitely do that job. That was a small example, but it could be a lot bigger. Let's say it's refinancing your house. I had a client who was thinking about refinancing his house, but wasn't sure it was worth the hassle. But after explaining how many thousands of dollars he would save over the life of the loan, and he wanted to go from a 30-year to a 15-year, and from over 4% to just barely over 2%, it would save him over $100,000 over the life of the loan. And let me tell you, that's a high hourly wage. Let's say the whole process took him 15 hours to complete. He had to do some research, he had to talk to a mortgage lender, he had to sit down and do the documents and make the changes and answer phone calls and find his tax documents. So after doing all that work, 15 hours worth of work, over, let's say it's 2 months to get it done, but he saved $100,000. That's $100,000 divided by 15 hours. That's over $6,500 per hour. That's a huge hourly wage. So at over $6,500 per hour, it doesn't seem like such a bad deal. Even if he had to spend 30 hours getting it done, it would still be a really good deal. So instead of thinking about how long some process is going to take or how uncomfortable a situation might be, think about it more as an hourly wage. If it were a job, would that wage be worth it? And when you see that number, it may be really easy to convince yourself, even if it's an uncomfortable situation, let's say it's a family financial problem, well, is it worth that much per hour? When you see that number, it may definitely be worth the wage. Number 3, reward yourself when you're done. I often tell couples who have to make a difficult financial decision, whether that's saving some extra for retirement or whether that's paying something off or making a big change, discuss it, but only once you've finished and made a decision together, then treat yourselves to a nice dinner. This way, it's easier to work through the difficult thing knowing at least something good is going to come at the end of it. Our minds are really tuned into incentives, so when we know we have a nice delicious dinner at our favorite restaurant, it might make it a little bit easier to stomach dealing with the situation at hand. Or maybe it's one of the small things you need to tweak, like setting up that HSA that you've been thinking about. Well, once you do it, then reward yourself with a candy bar. I may or may not have food on the mind. You know yourself really well. You know what would be a good incentive for a big decision and a good incentive for a small decision would be. So once you've tackled that one single task, Give yourself that treat. Are there more tips? Yes. Can our brains only digest small amounts of information in a given time that we'll actually be able to implement in our lives? Yes. What's that? I told you to stop calling me. First off, it's creepy. Second off, I don't... Thanks so much for watching. Now go and take care of that one task that's been nagging you since you started watching this video. Save!